Hay-on-Wye down to Chepstow. 750 men will spend the next 3 days measuring their strength and stamina against the elements. More than 200 of them will need medical treatment. All will swear that they'll never do it again. But that's what most of them said last year.
Any rafts due away up to 30 must get in the water now. Rafts due away between 30 and 50, get prepared to get in the water, please.
Over 1,700 rafters and their supporters have come to Hay-on-Wye from far off Kent and Bradford, as well as from local towns and villages, to face the challenge of 100 miles of blisters, sprains and sunburn, of pain and exhaustion in the name of raising money for charity.
On behalf of the 1982 Char Committee, can we wish every rafter a happy trip down the river, a pleasant trip. Work your whatnots off, you'll enjoy it.
It's very similar, I think, to something like a marathon, or at least a long-distance run, where you indeed have to pace yourself. You start off knowing that you've got a long day in front of you, something like, as I said before, about 6 hours, so you really have to pace yourself. But at the same time, you've got to start off at the beginning at a rate, a high rate, because all the other crews do exactly the same. The first day of this particular course is a very rough one. It's, there's a lot of getting off the raft if it's low. There's a lot of running, obviously, with the raft on the riverbed. And this type of thing, a lot of damage can be done on the first day, which you don't get on the other 2 days.
The River Wye hurries out of the Welsh mountains and into its pleasant Herefordshire valley, where it meanders at a more leisurely pace. The race is from Hay to Chepstow in 3 stages. On the first day, they're making for a campsite about 3 miles below Hereford, a distance of about 31 miles. There'll be time from start to finish, and the winner will be the one with the lowest aggregate time. There's not been much rain in the weeks leading up to the race, so the crews aren't getting a lot of help from the current. But what's worse is that on the first stage of the race, the river is so low that for long stretches they're going to have to walk over the shallows, carrying or pushing their rafts. "18 miles from the start and their first major hazard. At Monington Falls, the river has shrunk to a mere 10 feet wide. So if your raft is slim enough, you can chance going through the falls like the lads from the Richmond Club, Hereford.
Push him over! Come on! Come on! Get under the spars, lads! Get under the spars!
If, however, you're too wide to go over the falls, then you'll have to take your raft on the rocks. But for the Hereford police and their raft Equilot, that's just what they've been training for.
Hold it! Lift it up! Lift it up! Get it up!
Some people say that the police crew take it all far too seriously. They must do. They've won it for the last 2 years running and start favourites this year.
Come on, we ain't got all day.
The style of the police is a touch regimental. By contrast, the Man Friday crew have a much more democratic approach.
Over here! Over there! Yeah! Oh! You stay up, get on there! Yeah, I'll catch you up.
28 miles of river and 8 hours of paddling behind them, and the Royal Oak from Windsor reaches Hereford. For a spectator, the race is a curious mixture of serenity and excitement. The excitement that you get if two rafts want to get through a space that's only big enough for one.
Mentally, I found it was frustrating. You know, you go around the corner and you think, well, we can't be too far away. You see a crowd of people. Like, for example, when we were coming into Hereford on the first day, you're seeing lots of people on the side of the bank. And, you know, you think you're nearly there, and you're still going on 6 miles later, and over an hour later you're still paddling over. You think, where's the finish, like, you know? And eventually we come to a part that we recognise, just down from the campsite. And, you know, it's great. All the people there are cheering, and your adrenaline starts going even more. And it's funny, you find extra energy wherever there's, you know, whenever you go underneath the bridge and there's a lot of people shouting at you, you just sort of up tempo a bit and go a bit faster just for the crowd.
It's a big relief, of course, when you finish each individual day. This is indeed where you need a good backup crew, because all you want to do when you get off the raft, if it's cold, you want to get changed. If it's hot, then you immediately want drinks and this type of thing. Other than that, it's just laying down, taking it easy, whilst everybody else is doing the things that have to be done. There's repairs and stuff like that, but hopefully if you've got a good backup crew, you don't have to bother about these things.
How do you feel, fellas?
Terrible.
Get my best side. Never again.
I believe you. Camera back to you, missed me out.
How was it?
Hard. Very hard. Up at the top of the river near Hay, it was very, very rocky, a lot of carrying. Spent a lot of time off the raft. Broke our steering. Lightning repair, 2 minutes. But we made it.
There's 2 skids broken, some bands are broken, and we've got 2 holes in the barrels, which we're going to repair.
We got totally wrecked going through Mollington Falls. Took the left-hand hull off.
Anybody hurt?
No.
So much damage and still only one day gone. So why do they do it? Race coordinator Don Miller.
Well, I think it offers the ordinary man in the street, and indeed woman, the chance to take part in an adventure-type weekend at minimal cost, pit themselves against the elements, and have a damn good weekend as well, because you have the atmosphere of the campsites thrown in, and they meet friends, they make friends, and there's a peculiar sort of camaraderie that develops between rafters, which you see all around you, which develops and goes on year after year. It is, after all, the longest raft race annually in the world. It's the largest raft race in Europe. It has acquired a certain cachet in rafting circles throughout the country, which is why this year we have rafts entered from places like Manchester and Leeds and Kent and Sussex. And I think it's something that the ordinary chap doesn't really get a chance to do very often. It's like going to North America and shooting the Colorado Rapids. No normal chap in this country would contemplate it, but they can come on the raft race weekend and get a similar sort of thrill. We have had a remarkably smooth day, and I would say it's been the best first day of any race we've had so far, with the exception that with the river so low, it's taking a lot of the rafts a long time to complete the course, and therefore they'll be out till very late tonight.
All crews that are due to be away by 9 o'clock should be on their rafts now. On their rafts now, please.
On the second day, the rafts are started on a handicap basis. The slowest rafts go first and the quicker ones later. The hope is that no one will be very late home at the end of the second stage.
Gnominus, can you hear me? On your way, come on. Come on, the gnome's paddling faster than you are.
The target for day 2 is the campsite just above Simmons Yacht, 37 miles away. And if the river is running slow, it could mean 9 or 10 hours of paddling for many of the crews. At Horwithy, there's a good vantage point for some of the 3,000 supporters who follow the race by car to cheer their crews along. The race marshals make sure that the narrow Herefordshire lanes don't get hopelessly clogged. The hot sun provides heavy going for those on the river, relaxation for those on the bank. And of course the crews themselves get a kick out of putting on a bit of a race for the spectators. The police raft is already making its way through the field. If you press them, they will coyly admit to doing a spot of training for the race.
The only preparation that we do on our raft is that we start what I could call sort of gymnasium training, which starts in February each year. Then as soon as the fine weather comes, we take up the actual river training, which comes, towards the end of March. Well, you've got to do preparation, because when you consider that the blokes are on the river for something like about 6 hours at a time, you've got to do some preparation, because if you don't, then you will just blow up on the race. You just won't be able to stay the course, especially in the men's race, of course, which is over the 3 days.
Not everyone does stay the course. One of the Roadmaker crew is suffering from severe heat stroke and has to be removed in the safety boat, another important part of the organisation.
Okay? Yeah. Are you cold, sailor?
Down near Foy, 22 miles into day 2, there's a problem. The river runs shallow, but most of the current pours through a channel close to one bank, sweeping the rafts under a willow tree.
Watch your back! Keep!
Everybody get off! Come on! Push! Let's not the film straight away! Right! Right, push!
The heatstroke victim has been rushed by Range Rover to Ross-on-Wye, 4 miles away, where an ambulance has been laid on by the marshals. The whole race is controlled by walkie-talkie, and the Chief Marshal, Tricia Hales, keeps an ear on everything that goes on. At the Hope and Anchor at Ross, another sick crewman has been left for treatment. Nearly 1,000 people who form the backup teams for the rafters have now moved their tents downstream to the second stage campsite at Simmons Yacht. They've pitched their camp there and have now driven back to Ross to cheer their lads on. There's another 13 miles or so before they can rest on their paddles. A few miles downstream, the Wye runs past the ancient walls of Goodrich Castle, which guards the entrance to the hills of the Forest of Dean.
When you sat on that raft and things are going a bit hard, that is the most difficult thing in the world. You know, you can't think of anything else which is harder. Because there are lots of places you'd rather be in a pub drinking a pint of beer or something. It does get very, very painful at times. Not so much physical. I think a lot of it is mental. You sort of go through bad patches and some good patches. You suddenly forget all the aches and pains, I think.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Or if you was on your own, you wouldn't go very far. I don't think you'd soon pack up. You think there's 9 others on the raft and they're all having the same, they're going through the same pains. Your feet hurt, mind on rafting, and your bum. You end up with blisters, and so that's the most painful part, I think, is it seems to deaden the nerves in the backside.
The 400-foot high Simmons Yacht Rock looks down on the last half mile or so of the second day. The race is now becoming an emotional as much as a physical experience.
The atmosphere is incredible, like, you know, I mean, you meet so many people and friends, they all become friends, let's put it that way. You know, you talk to people that you never talk to in your life, and the atmosphere is incredible. It's unbelievable. There's no words that can explain the atmosphere on the site.
What happened to that oar that was over there?
Yeah.
What have you done?
Oh, I just hit a stone when I was going through some shallows.
The St John's ambulance have entered a raft, but they're also open for a spot of business.
Well, if it keeps like this, you should do really well tomorrow. Do you think you will? Yeah. How many did you take today?
47.
47.
47, right? 46 started in front of us, and we took 45.
Great, great.
You can go and look at the scoreboard to compare race times and work out how much you've got to do to catch up. And then you can let your hair down, if you've got the energy.
The fact that the boys like to go down and have a jolly good time. And when they're having a good time, they like to please everybody by trying their best, not upsetting too many people, and having a jolly good time on the river, and also not abusing too many people, not bumping into many people on purpose. Other than that, they're raising a lot of money for charity, and they're not forgetting the context of just enjoying yourself. Not only that, all the people in the banks can enjoy it. They can really sit back and say, well, those are the boys that are trying, not looking at the winners, because they're only a part of it, the same as the losers. They don't want to know who's broke their leg, got a blister on their hand, been sore at by their best friend. All they want to know is who's won.
Simmons Yacht Rapids, the first challenge of day 3. This is the Black Pig Raft from Peasdown St John near Bath.
the matter with it?
Bloody wired fast. Wired fast.
You're going to be able to fix it?
If I can get this through here, make it a bit longer, yeah.
And if you can't?
You'll have to see about battle.
The hours wear away, and by early afternoon they reach Tintern Abbey. At this point the river becomes tidal, and the rafts are trying to meet the turn of high water so that the last 6 miles can be, if you like, downhill. If they're there too early, they'll be battling against a rising tide. It's a long, long slog down to Chepstow, and it takes heart to keep plugging away at those unforgiving miles. It also takes energy.
You were going along, and all of a sudden you come over really hungry. We're using so much energy. And then what we done on our raft was take it in turns to have something to eat, because we had a little bag behind our seats with food in it. And it's amazing how quick the body reacts to the food. You know, as soon as it goes in, it starts using it up, and you feel a lot better for it. And some of the teams didn't take food on, and I honestly don't know how they managed to go over that distance.
I don't know, it's a bit of a bug once you've sort of done it once and want to do it again, and it goes on and on. You can't say it's sort of easy, you know what I mean? So your legs go a bit dead. One of the nice things about the race is getting off the raft at the end of it.
There's two types of people who enter for it, really. There's the guys who just go along for the booze, you know, and the atmosphere and the good time. And then you get the other people who are really serious and they want to win. You know, they go in to win. But I think you can get a combination of both, really. You can enjoy yourself and go for the winning trophies, you know. There's no point in entering if you're just going to stroll along and finish. You've got to go for broke.
And that's what the police crew did. Hereford Police win for the third year running with a time of 19 hours, no minutes, 39 seconds.
Number 9. No! 24. No!
Stop smiling, Trevor. You haven't got a beer yet. Last number 32 coming down now. Last 32, the Richmond Club. Last 32. From Bushbank, cannon fired. Well done.
Out of 76 rafts, 67 finish. 6 retired damaged, 3 exhausted. 40 rafters wound up in hospital. And over £30,000 was raised for charity.
After the race, when you get to Chepstow, like, you get off the raft and you think, oh, never again, like, and then when it comes nearer the time, you start training again, and you think, oh yeah, we'll get on there again. But, you know, it's just the actual getting off the raft at the end of the race, because you are tired. It just takes it out of you without a doubt, because I mean 100 miles is a fair stint on the river, like, you know.
Tried, we didn't quite make it. Should have been a moment ever.
Where do you think you've come?
I don't know. Got a clue.
Not in the first one, anyway.
We finished. That's the main thing.
We had a crew this year from London, and they've tried rowing, they've tried the marathon, and they tried this, and it was the Royal Oak, and they said this is the hardest thing they've ever attempted, and they said that they don't think they'll be back again, so it's got to be hard. There's got to be some sort of kind of nut, really. There's something missing.
Behind you.